Stages of a Sister's Grief. Prologue. The Night Before the Funeral. Written and read by James. There I was, running late again, and wondering if, since I hadn't heard back from my parents about my song selection, it meant a yes. You're asking, wait, you had to get permission to sing at your brother's funeral? Yes, I did. And no, I didn't get to. My fault, I suppose. Different chapter, though. My parents are set in their ways, and although I've been singing my whole life, I had to pretty much beg to sing. Now, don't get me wrong, my parents are both amazing, but very different people than I or my brother. I put up with it and see it for what it is, and will be for the rest of my life. Brian just saw the past. I am what you call a very open to the universe, and I never like to carry around luggage of the past. Mostly because I'm lazy. I do, however, carry both my husband's and my brother's pain. I will do this until I pass away and decide which child is stronger. Suicide is never rid of such pain. It only transfers like a notation in a large will to the most deserving of nothing. It reads as, "And to my 32nd nephew, my house. Lastly, to my son, my debt, my broken-down car, and my empty bank account from the 80s. Sorry, Timmy, I forgot to close that one, and, well, the fees. Yikes." You get the comparison. Expecting one day a brother full of happiness, and instead inheriting his pain and suffering. I now carry one dark cloud on my left for my husband, and one on my right shoulder for my brother. I basically have 2 shoulder pads of blackened bog. Yay! I think I wrote a prelogue to a prelogue. The main one starts now. As I'm running late and wondering about my song, my tummy finally grumbles and says, "Feed me, I'm starving." Just kidding. All you do is eat. That's why you have no clothes to wear for tomorrow. Shut it, I whisper back. My dear Stretch, just wait until you see him, explains the nickname. Turns to say what, then realizes I'm talking to myself again and walks on towards the car. We arrive, and there they are. The first time I've seen them in person since the event. I'm going to call it that for now, since I'm still, even now, in denial. She cries, that's my mother, and I stand stoic. I notice my dad give me the weird, "Why aren't you crying?" look I got a lot of during my own husband's funeral planning. I gave him a slight roll of the eye, and we walked in. The Outback. Steaks and wedge salads galore. We were dead center of the room. My mom immediately goes over the police report and goes on, and I still stay dry. Not one tear during dinner. Not a one. What people don't understand is that I've never lost a son, and my mother has yet to lose a brother, so we don't get each other's pain. My mother and father talked so much of Brian and what's going to need to be done, and I just nodded, reassured I'd take care of the 2 U-Pods coming. I'd take care of the hacking into things, the pricing of his things, the charity setup for the boys, the eBay store, the gallery one-nighter. On and on and on, wondering why has no one asked me if I'm okay? I mean, a simple, "How are you handling this?" would suffice. But then I just blank out into a daydream. I was thinking of him when we were younger, and I would sing loudly in my room before our parents got home. On this occasion, I was singing "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" by Cyndi Lauper. I was dancing and pretending I was live on stage. Brian was listening to a Skinny Puppy song. He must have been fighting with whatever girl he was with, hence the industrial goth mood. His music abruptly stopped, and he stormed into my room, yelling, "Shut the hell up! The first time was good, the 10th time it's killing my ears." Even when he was mad, he was funny. I jumped so hard in the daydream that I actually jumped a tad at the table. Receiving weird looks from everyone, I did what came naturally. I ordered another drink and some carrot cake. Duh. I hugged them goodbye and packed up some of Brian's things into the car. I get into the car and held tightly onto the police report, saying nothing. I let Stretch ramble about whether my parents liked him and if he was using enough etiquette. The trip home finally ended with what I was wearing for the funeral. Such a cutie, that one. When I got home, I read it, the report. I cried for the first time since morning. It was not the sobbing I was looking for. It was anger. And that's when I heard the song. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. Maybe I'm crazy, or maybe Brian, the most musical person I know, was there to give me another song on his playlist. Yep, this wasn't the first song I've heard. I have been hearing non-existent music since Sunday, July 15th, or should I say early morning, Monday the 16th, around 2:40 a.m. I didn't know then, but I for sure know now that he is going to follow me for the rest of my life, bothering me with every song. He will be my DJ, just adding in songs for the moment, songs for the inspiration, songs for the reminder, and songs just to be an ass. Insert, takes a whiskey drink, takes a lager drink. There are songs that remind us of the good times. There are songs that remind us of the better times. Oh, Danny boy, Danny boy. You know it. Sing along. Thank you, Brian. I always wanted my own musical, my soundtrack to my chaos-filled life. This is the first song on my grief soundtrack. They will all be acoustic and they will have a story. The first step on my grief journey starts with the phone call. That will be next. Thank you for allowing me to honestly share my grief as I went through it and will continue to go through it. These are my point of view stories and in no way mean to put down anyone else's grief. I love you, Mom and Dad. Dedicated to the most amazing brother in the world. I love you dearly. All my songs will be raw, the sound sucks, and half the time I'm crying or hoarse, but they're real and in the moment as they were meant to be. Enjoy, James. Produced by Cool Kitten. Written and read by James. Next up, Chapter 1, The Phone Call.